What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. Also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, a new state announces $1,000 new checks going out to a lot of people. We'll talk about in this video. We actually got a lot of new states announcing new stimulus checks, new checks, whatever you want to call them. We'll be going over here in the next few videos. We got a lot of information coming out here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Remember, new videos every day, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to click the bell icon after subscribing so you get notifications when we go live. Also, there's a lot of talk about $10,000 coming directly from the president for student loan forgiveness. That is for over 40 million people. Here's some information on that. Check this out.
Several reports that said the White House is leaning towards canceling $10,000 in student debt for certain borrowers. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman, who is with us in studio.
What's up, guys?
Hey. I feel like we've been talking about this for a very long
Too long.
time. What's the very latest from the administration? In what kind of window are we talking about?
So let's just go back to what Biden says he favors. He wants Congress to pass a law that would forgive up to $10,000. Now, obviously, there are some Democrats who want a lot more forgiveness. Bernie Sanders said forgive all student debt. Elizabeth Warren said up to $50,000. And Biden all along has said, no, that's too much. And Congress is not going to pass a law. So there's this question of, can Biden do this through executive action? He could try. And then there might be legal challenges, though there probably is a good chance it would stick. But we've been hearing rumors, really for weeks now, that Biden is going to do this through executive action. And now that he's not going to do it, there were rumors that he was planning to do it over the weekend, except for the school shooting in Texas last week. So the timing seemed bad. I think the White House at this point needs to either do it or say, we're not going to do it, because this drippiness is just starting to look bad for the White House.
Why do you think this is as difficult a decision for the White House as it appears?
Because it's bad policy. This is fairly unambiguous. Among policy experts, this is not even that controversial. So the whole thing, if you forgave up to $10,000, let's say, that would cost around $230 billion, not in 1 year, but over the life of those loans. That's revenue that the Treasury is not going to get. And if you had $230 billion to work with, and you could do that for some kind of subsidy for something, you probably would not target it at people who went to college, or who in most cases are college graduates. You would target it lower down the income chain. So if you forgive student debt, there's no corresponding subsidy for people who just didn't go to college. They don't get anything. There's no subsidy for people who paid off their loans. And a lot of people struggle to pay for college as they go through. There's no subsidy for people who do it that way. Some people go for 7 or 8 years at night, and they work a job along the way.
Well, and that's the argument, right? Is that if you go for full forgiveness here, it would help those who don't necessarily need it, because it's those, to your point, who are more low income, who, right, number one, can't even go to college because of the cost too. What happens to that? How do you change the system? But what's the other side of this? If it was such an easy decision, we would have heard from the White House by now. What's the potential backlash if he says, we're just not going to go down this road?
There are implications for the midterms.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So Biden did run on this as a policy. Now, everybody forgets that Biden said Congress should do it. The president should not do it with a stroke of a pen. Big downside for Biden if he does nothing is he's going to lose all support he has among young voters. This is a big deal among younger voters. He did get a reasonable portion of younger voters in 2020, and his approval rating right now among young people is lower than it is among the overall average.
Is it a midterm issue, though,
Absolutely.
when you think about all the other issues on the table?
Yeah, it is. Biden needs to show that Democrats can do something. The Democrats really haven't gotten anything done since the infrastructure bill. That was a major accomplishment by the way. But with Biden's approval rating in the low 40s, that looks terrible that's very bad news for Democrats. So he wants to make it look like they're doing something. I'm not sure it would help in the midterm elections, though, because you're not trying to win over the most liberal Democrats. You're trying to win. You need centrists and independents who might otherwise vote for Republicans. And I'm not sure this issue will galvanize those people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the other point on the low income bit of things, I mean, there is research that shows that the people who are oftentimes the most saddled with student debt are those low-income minorities who are trying to go to school to get elevated into the other class, though. So, I mean, it is kind of looped together. But do you think the administration has just kind of fumbled the messaging on that front? I mean, to your point, it seems like it's not necessarily exactly clear who they're going for here.
Right. Oh, they're going for young voters for sure. And I don't want to pretend that this is not a problem for anybody. I mean, there certainly are people who have
the whole generation
who have a lot of debt. I mean, this is the right kind of debt to educate yourself. That's good debt. But some people just have too much, and the people who hurting the most are the people who took out the debt and never got the degree. That's not forgiven because you didn't get the degree for whatever reason. You still have the debt without the thing that the debt was supposed to pay for.
And the other argument, right, is that it's not just one generation. I mean, there's still people forget, there's still people paying off their student debt.
I have heard from people who are in their 70s who have student debt and are never going to pay it off.
It's a serious issue. It's saddling multi-generations down. But it's just the solution to this is a lot.
Again, if you do it on a one-time basis, what then? Do people then start to take out debt because, the next president will forgive my debt? So then that's the moral hazard argument. So it's a real problem that some people have too much debt, but this is a very ticklish problem.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here. I also want to warn you guys that there is a lot of scams for student loan debt and student loan forgiveness. So please be very, very careful with that. Okay, there's a lot of scams going on around this. So please be very, very careful with that. If anybody calls you about student loan debt forgiveness, it's almost for sure a scam. Okay, just hang on up on them. Don't give anybody your social security number. Don't pay anybody for anything like this. Don't give anybody any money regarding anything. Also, if you ever see anybody down in the comments pretending to be me and giving you a phone number, it's not me. I don't have any phone numbers for you to call ever. And I always have a check mark by my name. If you ever see me asking you to text me or call me, it's not me. There's just scammers all the time on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and they're trying to scam you. Okay, they're just So just be aware that I don't have any phone numbers for you to call. Okay. Okay, next up, Vermont will start sending $1,000 checks to parents. I have some more states here as well after this. But this is why I like to show you guys this stuff right here on the screen, so you guys know that this stuff is true from credible sources like Yahoo, Business Insider. Sometimes it's CNN, sometimes it's Fox News. But I know that a lot of people don't like, if I show CNN, I always get Republicans to say that's fake news. If I show Fox, I get Democrats that don't like it. I try to stay away from those sources just because a lot of people, don't say that. But occasionally I get articles from those places just because that's the only place I can find it or something like that. But that's why I show you guys this stuff right on the screen so you guys can see it and not just always hear it, because it just kind of reinforces this stuff, right? Vermont will start sending $1,000 checks to parents, stepping up after Congress failed to renew their program, the child tax credits. This was just as of yesterday, May 31st. Check this out. For 6 months, American parents got the monthly child tax credits from the federal government. Just a reminder, to get the other half of the child tax credits from the federal government, you have to file a tax return. Okay. or you can go to the government website, which is childtaxcredit.gov or getctc.org, which is a free tool from the government where they will basically, I believe they will file a tax return for you in a very simplified form for free, but you're still going to have to file a tax return. They'll kind of do it for you in a very simplified way. But remember, you're owed $1,500 to $1,800 per child from the tax return. Okay, so keep that in mind. But you can see here, Congress has failed to renew the program after resistance from Republicans and Senator Joe Manchin, which some of our viewers would say he is a Republican in sheep's clothing. Uh, that I have no say either way. I try to remain neutral here, but some of our viewers would say that. Now, Vermont and a lot of other states actually um, are sending out child tax credits on the state level. But Vermont has just announced that they will send out monthly checks to households earning $125,000 and below with kids under 5. So this just came out here. For 6 months last year, parents across the country received monthly checks. The expanded child tax credits, which parents got up to $300 a month per kid, lasted from July to December 31st. Some states are trying to step up to where Congress failed. In Vermont, a Republican governor and a Democratic led state legislature, well, good for them for working together, signed off on a $1,000 child tax credit for every child under 5 and under or 5 and under to households earning $125,000 and below. Phil Scott, the state's Republican governor, had initially proposed a wider suite of tax cuts, according to this website. In a statement, Scott said his proposals, quote, would have helped a broader cross section of taxpayers, but this bill is a step in the right direction. This program is expected to cost $32 million, which really isn't that much money for a state, and benefits over 30,000 children in the state. Also, I want to let you guys know that there's a lot of other states. I don't have a list here in front of me, but when doing your taxes, make sure that you're checking, or if you're accountant or whoever, if you're doing your own taxes, just Google and see if your state is offering a state child tax credit, as well as other credits like the adult tax credit and earned income tax credit. See if your state has other credits like this. Because remember, a credit is basically money back to you. Think about the child tax credit, how they paid it in advance with the monthly checks. That's money just in advance as opposed to getting it in a one lump sum at the end of the year. Okay. Tax credit is money in your pocket. A lot of people think tax credit, I don't want a tax credit, but the tax credit is basically money. It's kind of the same thing, whether you get it in advance or you get it at tax season. It's kind of pretty much the same thing, but just one way or another. Also, even the IRS even says that a lot of people that don't file taxes, in some cases, should, because they're missing out on money that they could get. In fact, like in the case of the child tax credits or even the adult tax credits, also known as the earned income tax credit, and like some of these state stimulus checks, um, there's millions of people that are potentially missing out on money. So, and again, every person's different, every situation is different, but some people may benefit from filing a tax return, especially if they have children with the child tax credits last year. You're going to miss out on $1,500 to $1,800 per child if you don't file tax return for the federal government. But you may want to file state tax returns as well. But again, every person's different, so you kind of need to like get a little bit of tax advice. If you have a friend or family that knows something about your personal situation, it might be worth asking them, because you might get 500, 1,000, especially if your state's doing a state stimulus check. If you have children, um, it might be worth asking somebody because, again, you just file a simple tax return. If you get money back, you'd be like, hey, thanks for Jimmy for telling me this stuff because I got $1,000 or I got $500, I got $2,000, whatever it is. A lot of people, even the IRS says, a lot of people literally miss out on money in their pocket because they just simply didn't file a tax return. Yeah, so I'm here to try to help as many people as possible. And the IRS says that just from last year alone, 2021, that people are still filing this year. You could still file this year. There's no late penalties unless the IRS, unless you owe the IRS. If they owe you, there's no late penalties at all. Um, but the IRS says that millions of people will miss out on money owed to them because they simply don't file. Yeah, so like I said, don't let the IRS keep your money because you didn't file and you don't know about this stuff. So at least I'm telling you, if nobody ever told you this stuff, at least you can't say you never heard it. Yeah, and a lot of these states. So with the state stimulus checks that we're going over here. In fact, I have several more here for the next video. Running out of time here a little bit, but I'll cover more in the next video. Um, some states are doing it where they have systems where they have different ways to figure out non-filers that may qualify. Okay, they're looking them up through the DMV of their state or various systems or through property tax records and stuff like that. Different kind of things. So if your state is doing a state stimulus check or tax rebate check, whatever you want to call it, they're all kind of the same thing, right? See if so I try to mention it if I see it, right? But each state is doing it differently. Some states are doing a thing where they may have a system for non-filers, okay? But some states are requiring people to file a state stimulus or a state tax return. So you could get it just by filing, even if you have no income or no earned income. Okay, you might still be eligible. But again, each state's different and each person's different. Each tax situation's different. So I hope that kind of clears up for everyone. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. And I'm talking to a lot of people. There's a lot of different states, a lot of different situations. So let me know your thoughts here. I will keep you up to date here. I have several more states to talk about here in the next video. There's multiple different states coming out with new stimulus checks and new tax rebate checks and new checks in general. So I'll cover that here in the next video. So don't miss out. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And then click the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notifications when we go live. Click here to watch my new video on Social Security payments coming up. Really good video there. And here's another good video I did on a lot of stimulus checks as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.